Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Stacy with Build a Big Budgets. I have a special guest with me again today. He thought he would say hello to all of his friends here on YouTube. Let's get him in the picture. Say hi. Baby C is here. He probably won't hang out with us the whole video, but he just wanted to say hello to my friends. Hello to my friends. Our legs are straightening out, so that is awesome. We still got a little bit of a bend, but that is to be expected when you were born breech. Okay, so I know you guys have waited a long time, it feels like, to hear the rest of the story. So we are going to do the rest of the story. I think there was a news guy that said that. Can't remember, was it? I don't know. Anyway, for some reason I'm recalling that as a child. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm hoping that finishes our Oh Bestie Baby game. And then story time, and then whatever we can complete, we will do on our mini that we have here that we've started. And then I can put these in my mini Monday month ahead, and this into my tinies, and these are my tinies. That one's completed. So far with this game, we've been able to save $152, which is exciting, and then whatever we save today. All right, so back to the story time, and welcome if you're new. If you are new, you are going to be very lost in where the story is. They are here on my channel. If you go back to Oh Bestie Baby Collab story time, and they are all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will be number 6. Okay, let's get our baby dice out here so we can see where we're gonna go. We're gonna start at the beginning because I don't remember where we ended, because we're gonna do it anyway. Okay, so where we left off last time was that my daughter was talked into doing a version by her doctor, and it was unsuccessful. What we didn't know, and this is where I left off, she had tried for 40 minutes to get baby to move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when the doctor left, she said that baby would be born the following Thursday. They would do C-section so that my daughter had the peace of mind of knowing that baby is good. 1, 2. Just because we were a little worried, and let me tell you even more why we're worried after just going through it. So, doctor leaves. We then are sitting there talking to the nurse, because you have to wait for a couple hours before you get to leave. They want to check everything. 1, 2. Oh, I jumped over that. That's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they were monitoring baby and everything, and as we were sitting there talking to the nurse, she was very nice, very sweet young girl. She said, I'm really surprised that they did even try to do a version, since baby is low on amniotic fluid and the placenta is anterior, meaning that it's on top of baby. And instantly my blood pressure went through the roof, because I thought, why in the world would we try that? So with the doctor already gone, I thought, okay, well, we're getting monitored. Everything will be okay. We're going to have baby the following Thursday. No big deal. Trying not to stress, so my daughter didn't stress. Oh, and look, we get to fall hopelessly in love with baby boy. Yes, for sure. We are absolutely over the moon about him. So let's go ahead and just color that in. Oh, well, that kind of went outside the rails, but that's okay. So fast forward to the next Monday. So that version was on a Thursday. Monday, my daughter receives, it was Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, she receives a message in her My Chart saying that her procedure was going to be scheduled for the following Monday, which would have been the 24th. And when I say I came uncorked, 1, 2, 3, 4, I literally was beside myself. I was very upset. I called the doctor's office and I said, that is not happening. We are having this baby on Thursday, which would have been in 2 days from that phone call. And she said, well, we have higher priority people that we had to get in, and this is the doctor's nurse. And I was like, no, my daughter is high priority. She was actually promised by her doctor that she would get this baby delivered on Thursday for the peace of mind. And the nurse said, well, she's actually with somebody right now, so when she gets done, I will have her come in and talk, or I will have her call you. So I wait. Finally, the nurse calls me back. She says, actually, she's not here today. It's her day off. I thought I heard her, but it wasn't her. And at this point, I'm like, okay, now you're lying to me. You know, like, all the flags are pointing at being lied, being took, you know, kind of thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I said, well, no worries. We'll talk to her tomorrow. We have a regularly scheduled OB appointment. So we'll get this all figured out, and we will be having baby on Thursday. So we show up to the doctor's appointment, and of course, in full mama bear fashion, I'm like, I'm definitely going in with you this time. I mean, I take her to every appointment, but normally she would go in by herself because she, you know, she wants to feel like an adult. I get it. But this time it required Mama Bear to be there. Lose control of wheelchair, save 3. This is going to be lose control of temper. So we get into the appointment, and we're waiting for her, and I'm trying to, like, you know, just keep my calm, but it's really, really hard. I hear her voice, and it literally set the trigger in my mama body where I, like, literally want to lose control. But I remain calm. She comes in and she says, so it sounds like we need to do some damage control. And I was like, oh, you already know. You already got the memo. Well, that's good. At least I don't have to run through the long story of it all. She said, so what ended up happening is we never fill up. We never fill up. In the 15 years I've been delivering babies here, we've never filled up. So I apologize that I didn't get it scheduled soon enough. And I said, so where are we having baby at? And she said, well, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have it till next Monday. And I was like, no. We are having this baby. You sat there and you promised her that you would deliver this baby on Thursday because she will then be 39 weeks and it's safe. And we're having this baby. You can tell me we're having it in the parking lot. I don't care. And it doesn't even have to be you that delivers it. At this point, we really don't care if you are the doctor that delivers. And she was like, well, I'm really sorry that you guys feel that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She said, well, let me go out and talk to my nurse. And her nurse's name was Katie. And she said, and see if there's another hospital that we work with that I deliver at that has room. And I was like, yes, please, thank you. And why wouldn't you do that before you even came in? Honestly, you knew we were upset. Like, but yes, go ask, whatever. So she goes out to tell her, we need to find a place to have baby, blah, blah, blah. Comes back in, starts talking to us. About 10 minutes later, and mind you, I'm recording everything because I have zero trust. I have zero trust that this doctor is capable of doing anything right. Which sounds very harsh, and I definitely am not that harsh. I'm very passionate about my children. I am a full mama bear. My kids are my world. I didn't even realize the lengths of the world I would go across to protect them. I mean, I always, I feel like as a mom, we all say that. We all will do that. But when I say I was ready to champion for her, it didn't matter what needed to be done. I was in that mind frame of it will be done no matter what needs to be done. So, and now I'm showing my crazy. You guys are like, whoa, she is next level. I don't even know where I was at. Okay, whatever. We're going to go right here. So this is going to be number 2. Sorry. I get so worked up when I talk about this story. It's still so fresh for me. It's very, 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 I don't know. It spikes my anxiety severely. So, okay. Stacy yells at officer to get escort to hospital. That's yells at doctor right there. Okay. So there's $1. Okay. So she ends up coming. Katie comes back and says, okay, we have a new hospital. Everything's set. We're good to go for Thursday. And I, in that moment was like, was it that hard? Couldn't this have been prevented? Couldn't have all this workup been prevented had you not had to be told to troubleshoot this, figure this out? Like, figure it out. That's all you had to do. Figure it out. You knew she was going to be upset. Why, So she was so focused during that whole appointment to try to fix the relationships, to get us the relationship with us, to get us to trust her, to, like all these things. And it's like, this is so weird that a doctor is like almost begging us to be her friend, right? It felt kind of like that. So we leave the doctor's appointment. At least now we have our plan back in place. Baby's going to be born on Thursday. So Thursday morning comes. We're supposed to be there at 6:30 in the morning. Surgery is going to be at 8:30. 9:05. Still no doctor. I'm sure you guys can already imagine. The disgust in my voice, in my feeling, in my body, it was so apparent. I mean, I feel like, how in the world is this even happening right now? How is it happening that she does not show up on time? So the nurse said, it's no big deal. This is pretty typical for her. And I was like, that's so wrong. So wrong that this is typical behavior, but whatever. Here we are. Finally, she shows up and she comes running into the room where I'm at. They already have my daughter back in prep, getting her ready. There's another doctor there, that one that was, working on her extra year of residency. So they already had her started, I think, from what they had said. They already had her started. She comes swooping into the room and she was like, okay, so I'm going to change my clothes real quick and get my sterile suit on. And then you get your marshmallow suit on. And then they'll come and get you and we'll take you in. And I was like, okay. Now I'm just anxious. So I thought I was like going to yell at her when she came in late, but I was just like, okay, whew, all right, here we go. Like the adrenaline was just flowing so heavily through my body. It was almost out of control. So they get me into the room where my daughter is, and they've already started. And it took so by the time I got back there, it was like 9:15. Baby was born at 9:52 a.m. So it took them that long, which doctor said it would take like 10-15 minutes max to get baby out once they cut her open. Well, he was really high up and he was kind of stuck. So it took them all that time to get her out. So baby was born at 9:52. I'm standing there and I'm trying to let my daughter, see the screen, and then they finally give me baby C, and I'm holding him close to her, as close as I can. She wanted to do skin on skin, but with all the drapings and everything, they just didn't have enough space or something. I don't know. They couldn't do the skin on skin, so it was grandma holding baby face cheek to cheek almost. And the doctor then says, hey mom, there's something I want you to look at. And so I was like, okay. And I'm like trying to look around the drape as I'm holding baby like this towards my daughter's face. So I'm looking around the curtain, and she's like, so we found a softball sized cyst on one of her ovaries. She said, we're not gonna drain it right now because she's already been on this table for way longer than we would want her to be. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not it. I really don't know that much about my own body, let alone anything else, right? But in my mind, I'm like, why in the heck, if we have something in our hand, and I kid you not, it is that big, why would we not drain this if we already have it out? And she says, it's something we could monitor on ultrasound and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we just really need to get her. And I'm uncomfortable as is. So I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, you're the professional. And in my mind, I'm going, oh my gosh, what is this lady talking about? So then, like 2 minutes later, she says, oh, Mom, hey, real quick, we are going to have to drain the cyst because we can't get it to go back in. And I am like, I can't even believe that for a second she thought she was going to get that back in. She showed me what the other ovary looked like, and it was about this big. The cyst was in her hand like this. So, huge difference. And I'm thinking, whoa, this is insane. I mean, ain't no way somebody has gone through so much in one single pregnancy. Ain't no way. So I'm thinking, maybe, am I making this more than it is in my brain? I'm starting to question if I'm crazy. So she's you know, she does her thing, she's draining it, and, you know, she's talking to the other doctor, and I kind of hear some chitter chatter as I'm trying to baby talk baby and, you know, my daughter and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, look at it on ultrasound. If you would have looked at it on ultrasound, you would have seen it before. But here we are. So they finally get her all sewed back up and back into the room. And at this time now, it's 11:30. 11:30. So my daughter is exhausted. I'm exhausted. And, you know, we're absolutely loving baby. He's in the room and he's making this really, like, what we thought cute little singing noise. All right, let me finish rolling. Otherwise, I'm going to totally forget that I was doing something. I don't even remember where I'm at. Look, why do I do stories? 1 and 2. Let's go here. Get pulled over for speeding. Go back 3 spaces. Let's highlight this. Go back 3. We don't have, so let's do 1, 2, rewind it back. 3. Let's go to the sun. 1, 2. Okay. So he's making like this little, I thought it was a coo, and for a couple hours. And so I'm taking videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to be a little singer like his grandma, you know. And I'm thinking, I have never heard a baby coo this long. Like over, like every little noise he made was like a little singing coo, or so I thought. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to send this to my friend who is a NICU nurse, has been for 35 years. And just see, is this normal? I just never heard of a baby doing that. So I send her the video and she says, can I FaceTime you? And I was like, absolutely. So she FaceTimes me and she's like, hey, go over there and open up his swaddle. And I said, okay. And she said, do you see how his chest is retracting? And I said, uh-huh. She said, well, he's not breathing right. And I was like, oh. She said, honey, that's not singing that he's doing. He's struggling to breathe. And I was like, oh my goodness. So she's like, this is what I need you to do. I need you to tell them that you talked to your friend who's a NICU nurse, and he definitely needs to have an x-ray done like right now. And once, if that's clear, he needs to have a CPAP. He needs to get on the CPAP. We need to get those lungs cleared out. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I go out to the nurse's desk and they're all sitting around, they're chit-chatting, whatever. And I was like, can I talk to the doctor, the pediatrician that's on call or that's in the hospital right now? And they were like, why, what's going on? I was like, well, I just sent a video to my friend who's a NICU nurse, and she said that baby is retracting, and as soon as I said that, the nurse rolls her eyes. And this is where the mama bear came out. And I was like, excuse me? Are you trying to find a brain back there? Don't roll your eyes at me. I need to see a pediatrician right now. Please send one to the room. And she was like, well, and I was like, don't make me call 911. We're in the hospital. Are you kidding me? And so she was like, I'll call. And I was like, thank you. Oh my gosh. Like, why is that such a big deal? Please send somebody. We have a concern. Like, okay. So about 20 minutes later, and I'm texting my friend rapid fire. You know, she was like, you know, this is really serious, Stacy. I don't want you to freak out, but it is very serious. You know, he definitely needs to be looked at. So the doctor comes in, he says who he is, and I start recording. Cause you know, I have trust issues. So I've recorded a lot of everything that had happened in like the last week of her pregnancy. So he says, well, baby sounds great. So he sounds, you know, with a stethoscope, he sounds great. He said his oxygen levels are great. He says sometimes with C-sections, they have a little extra fluid in their lungs. It's something that's very common. We'll just wait a few hours and we'll see if it gets better. He said that usually clears up. So I can understand that you're concerned, but it's really nothing to be concerned about. I send that video of him saying that to my friend, and she says, I am about to come through this phone right now. Are you kidding me? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And she said, don't worry about it. I'm going to have my husband, who happens to be a pediatrician, call. So he calls the hospital for us, and within a half hour, they're taking baby out of the room. They said they're going to go do an x-ray. And I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. And so I'm texting her back and forth. She's like, did they come get him yet? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, so let me know what the x-ray says. And I said, okay. So a little time goes by. She texts me and she's like, did you get the results of the x-ray? And I said, no, not yet. And she was like, what the heck? They should have the result of the x-ray by now. And I was like, okay, let me go out and ask. So I go out and ask, and they were like, oh, well, we didn't do an x-ray. We just have him on the CPAP right now. So I send that to my friend, and she was like, oh my gosh. She said, without doing an x-ray, they don't even really know what they're looking, you know, like they don't know if there's something that could be wrong. So I go up and I say something to them, and they were like, well, this is what the doctor said to do. And I was like, what is this? I said, is this doctor a pediatrician? And they said, no, he's a family medicine doctor. And so I sent that to my friend, and she was like, okay. She said, this is crazy. She said, let me have my husband call again. So they call, they go do an x-ray, they take him in for an x-ray, and then within like 20 minutes, they say, we're going to have to rush him to the NICU. He needs to go to a hospital that has a NICU. He's not breathing good at all at this point. Even being on the CPAP, his breathing had gotten way worse. So, of course, my emotions are high. My daughter's emotions are high. They're working on getting her transferred at the same time. And it's pretty uncommon that they will transfer. But since she just had him, they said that they would transfer together. Had he had to go into the NICU like the next day, then, you know, she wouldn't have been able to be transferred. But thankfully, she was able to be transferred to the same hospital as him. So we're waiting. They said, Grandma, go to the hospital and wait for baby if you want, or you can sit here and wait for her. And I'm thinking, ain't no way I'm leaving her at this hospital by herself. And no. If my grandson is going to the NICU, I know he's going to the best care he could possibly get. So I need to make sure that my daughter's fine. So I'm fine. I'm staying here with her. So 2 hours go by, and they come in and they talk to my daughter. And they said, we need you to name baby before he can leave hospital. I literally jumped up out of the chair and asked the lady to please get somebody, like some security or somebody in the room, because I was feeling so emotionally charged. I thought, you got to be kidding me. The baby is still here? What do you mean the baby's still here? And they were like, well, we can't transfer him without a name. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours. Friends, when I tell you that my whole body left, my physical body, I I wasn't shaking, which is weird because you know when you get really angry, you probably shake. I felt like I was out of control. I felt like I could physically hurt somebody. So I asked the nurse, I said, you've got to leave. You've got to leave this room. You literally have to leave this room right now. We will fill this paperwork out and I will bring it to you. My daughter was hysterical, like uncontrollably crying. I couldn't console her at all. We had no idea. It was just the confusion, the sadness, the madness, all of the emotions running through every inch of our bodies. So my daughter hurries up and figures out a name she likes. And they were like, don't worry, you will be able to change it after you leave. It's just, we have to have a name. Friends, there is so much to this story. So she gives baby a name, and about an hour later, after that even, they bring him to the room in what is the most scariest incubated looking time capsule thing. I mean, it literally looked like a casket, for lack of better words. It was terrifying to see him in that. And I thought, why would you even bring him in here for her to see in that condition? You know what I mean? It just was, I don't know. So anyway, they took baby. We waited. Finally, she got transferred. At this point, it's now after midnight. Yeah, I seriously could just sit and cry when I think about it. But anyway, so we get baby transferred to the other hospital. The NICU there is amazing. They are wonderful. The nurses there, fantastic. We tell them a little bit about our experience, and they were like, this is not normal. We're so sorry. This is what you've been through, blah, 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 blah. And honestly, friends, there is like another 30 minutes to this story. But I think for the sake of the length of this video and already the shock of it all is probably, I don't know that you guys want to hear the last 30. I mean, literally, it's days worth of stuff, but like it's a lot. So I guess how I'm gonna leave this story and story time for her delivery and for our collab is baby C is doing very well now. He did end up losing almost a pound in the hospital. He has gained back half of that. He had to start gaining weight before he could leave hospital, which is why we were in there for as long as we were. And he's gained half of it back now. He's doing well. He eats good. He sleeps good. He is very, very much so doing very well, according to his pediatrician. So we are very happy. There is no long-term effects, is what they had said, from anything that had happened. So that's promising. But nothing is ever guaranteed. So I am going to leave it with that, just because I feel like that's so much. Doesn't that feel like a lot? Like, and I obviously don't want to cry on my YouTube video today. So let's see what we can do with what we have left here. Not much. Oh no. So what I could do is I'll see what we can roll. And it's honestly kind of hard to even like switch, like, okay, now let's do this. It's just, it was so emotionally draining that I feel like I'm still trying to recover from it. If that makes sense. It sounds so weird. But, 5. Okay, we're going to put, that was a 6, but we're going to put 5 because I don't have any extra dollars right here. And we only have 2, so I can roll these into my month ahead mini Monday. And I'll even put this money towards that, because then that'll help boost us up in our month ahead. Okay, so with our 152 we already saved, we now have 153, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 65, 75, 85, 90. So 190, that is amazing. And we still have this one from Lil's, this one from Lil's, and then these 3 from us. So, to my 2 YouTube besties, Sarah at SarahSaves07 and Lils at LilsWorld733. Thank you, ladies, so much. They were text champions with me during this whole time. They were texting back and forth, and same with Tracy from Savings with Tracy. You guys have no idea. You almost helped me keep my sanity when, I mean, not almost, because I did. I didn't do anything irrational, even though I wanted to. But thank you, ladies, so much for being such great friends. And stop it. I appreciate you, ladies. So, okay. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate all of your love and support. It means so much to us and to our sweet little baby C, which I don't know where my daughter is, but I thought maybe I'd give you a little feet show again, but I think he's already in his bassinet. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to leave this video a like, or hit the like, leave the video a comment. And yeah, sorry, I know this was a lot. And I think the last, what would take me like 30 more minutes to explain, we'll just let it lie. But honestly, it didn't end there. From, not with our experience with the hospital that we were then at, but just everything from the previous hospital, previous doctor, and whew, we got the baby here. He is doing great. That's really the only thing that matters the most. Mama's doing good, as in my daughter. And then my grandson is doing good. A2 is doing good. So my son is doing good. And I'm doing good. So that's all we can ask for. All right, friends. Thanks so much for being here. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, friends.